Greetings, everyone. I welcome to you all to your 5th class trial. The rules of this class trial are simple. Your goal is to find out the who, what, when, and where. More importantly, the who of your now-offended murderer. Your goal is to find the blackened, the killer, medic, the ultimate medic, found dead in the working room, alongside with Luigi, although his murder is irrelevant since he's the servant, and I know Rockruff also died, but they're not the murder you're meant to solve. It's going to be medics. You all discuss who you think did. Once you all figure out by the end, you all get to select your votes. If you vote correctly, the blackened will be executed. However, if you pick wrong, the blackened gets to pick another person to be executed and will be exempt from all further motives from this killing game. Lastly, if you need anything help, you can ask the servant for any advice. Yeah, just me, of course. But besides that, that's all the rules out of the way. So have fun, everybody! Foo-hoo-hoo! Here we were, in another class trial. Only 8 of us left. The entire room is filled with portraits at this point. All of them symbolizing those who have died in the past. Those new. In such a complex murder. 3 victims. One of them doesn't matter, and the other died too early. We have to solve Medic's murder, but what about Rockruff and Luigi? We have to do something about those murders as well. We can't just gloss them over.
Alright, I think we know where we're going with this, right? I mean, we have another class trial, but I think it's safe to ask, who are we gonna tackle first?
Well, the goal was to solve Medic's murder, right? I mean, it seems pretty easy. But we can't gloss over the other 2. Rockruff and Luigi were just as important.
Well, last time we had a multiple body case. If it weren't for us covering the other one, we wouldn't have been able to find out the first. Plus, these murders could be completely irrelevant from each other.
Yeah, we need to be able to talk about both of them. If anything, I think it would be best if we talk about Rockruff's first. Rockruff's? Why do you think Rockruff's? Well, she was the one body who was away from everyone else. Luigi and Medic were found in the same room while she was in the room opposite of them, right? That is true. Although it's not necessarily our forte to be able to go up and try and solve Rockruff's murder. After all, she's not the one we're relevantly trying to solve, it's Medic's. But Luigi seems tied to Medic. We want to handle the one case that seems separate from the others. I'm thinking we start with Rockruff as well. What? What about Luigi? Shouldn't we talk about him as well? We can get to him soon, but we need to tackle this first, don't we? I mean, we can't just leave Rockruff alone. She was in a different position than all of us, desperate to find the mastermind, and yet she died in a way I couldn't even understand. Listen, I know I'm gonna be helping this time and all, but I don't think it's gonna be that much of a stretch. We overheard what happened. It was played on the tape, didn't we? We overheard that Medic had thrown Rockruff into the freezer. Obviously, it was his fault she died. Is it really safe to say that right now? I mean, yes, he did say on that message that he was the one who put Rockruff in the wine cellar, but still.
The issue with that is that we still don't know how Rockruff's wounds had gotten there, and what resulted in Medic throwing him into that room. And although Medic being the one to have maybe possibly killed him is a possibility, an evidential one, we do need to think about it first.
Right, we can't just leave them out in the dark. We're gonna need to figure things out. So, is that where we're gonna start? Rockruff's murder? And try and figure things out? Yes, we'll start with Rockruff's murder. And I think it's best we talk about her wounds, and what could have caused them. Sounds easy enough, right?
Wounds? Yeah, I think we can do that. It sounds pretty easy enough to find a weapon.
Well, I guess we're starting this already. Looks like we'll have to try and figure out what the hell happened to Rockruff before we can figure out the others. And we're gonna have to start by trying to figure out a possible murder weapon for her. What could have done it? What could have caused those wounds on her? Let us see what we can find out in this complex murder. We found Rockruff's body inside of the wine cellar.
From the wounds we found, it seems something had struck her in the neck.
There was blood coming from all over her body. Maybe the immense freezing in the room could have froze her to death. Maybe. I didn't find any objects saying that what could have cut her neck. Wait, that's not right. Pause for a second there, Flareon. I don't think you're right about that. Huh? Did we find something? Yes, we did actually. Believe it or not, right in front of the crime scene there was that saw. Huh? The saw? I thought it was used for Luigi's murder. We thought so too, but the only other weapon that we know of is, well, nothing really. The saw is the only thing. What we found from Luigi's body is that he was electrocuted to death, which was very evident, very easy to spot. I can't believe the culprit would do such a thing. He didn't deserve it. But the saw doesn't contribute to either of those murders. The only thing that would make logical sense is if it goes to Rockruff's murder.
So, you're saying the hacksaw is what killed Rockruff?
Exactly. It matches up with the wounds on the Monokuma file. A cut to the neck from anything like that is what probably caused her to bleed out as much as she did. It is the only logical option. So the hacksaw killed Rockruff, and she was put into the wine cellar then.
The only way someone can die from a wound like that is if they bled out to death. And there was a lot of blood around there.
Are you saying Rockruff was stuck in that wine cellar and then just bled out to death? Oh god. I mean, nobody exactly knew that she was in there until we found nobody exactly knew she was in there until we found the strange message machine that told us she was placed in there by Medic. Well, I think we found her cause of death. Bleeding out to death from whatever had cut her neck, aka the hacksaw. So she really did bleed out to death. Oh god. If only we had known she was in there sooner, maybe we could have saved her.
She was going off the deep end a bit. I doubt there was much we could do at that point.
Okay, so we figure out how she died. Though, what events caused her to get into that wine cellar in the first place?
What events?
I mean, something had to lead up to what we think we know as Medic throwing her into there, right?
Yes, all we know for now is that someone ended up, Medic in this case from the message, took Rockruff and put her in the wine cellar. But we don't know how that happened. Yeah, what would be Medic's motive for putting Rockruff in the wine cellar? I think that's what we're gonna have to figure out next. Why Rockruff was shoved into the wine cellar. Why she was put into the wine cellar. Well, we're gonna have to start from the beginning and retrace our steps. What we know of what happened to Rockruff. I mean, it's the only logical way we can lead to an outcome. Looks like we're gonna have to start from the apparent beginning.
Last we saw Rockruff was when I confessed to being a memory retainer.
She ran off, desperate to finally find the mastermind.
But from there, the trail would run cold, wouldn't it?
I mean, the next morning we saw her, she was dead in the wine cellar. I do believe there is one place where she may have been seen. I think you're right. Ah, Kirby, that's right. You and Azriel saw Rockruff, didn't you?
What?
Oh, I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, you see, after the little events that had happened, me and Azriel began to go back upstairs. But not long after Rockruff had left and we decided to gain the courage to head back upstairs, back to our rooms, was when we ended up finding Rockruff walking along the hallway walls, towards the meeting room area. The meeting room? The room that you can let people go into, that's normally locked. That room.
Oh, they were in there? Why would she go in there?
Actually, she didn't go in there alone. She had a reason.
What?
From what me and Azriel can remember, she went into that room with Luigi. What? She was in that room with Luigi? But how does that make sense? Why would she be in there? We aren't quite sure. Whatever it was, Rockruff had a meeting with Luigi in that room for something.
But I thought Luigi's murder was connected to Medic's, not Rockruff.
Maybe it's all one big triangle. Who knows?
Well, pause for a second. We know that the two of them were in the meeting room. They had to have been discussing something. But the question is, what were they discussing?
Yeah, you only go into that room if you want to privately talk with someone. I know that from experience.
Then what was Luigi talking about with Rockruff? Or maybe the other way around?
Yeah, what exactly proves that they were in that room anyways? I mean, we're going off of alibis here.
Well, if they were in that room, then what proves they were there, and what was Rockruff trying to tell Luigi? Or maybe what Luigi was trying to tell her? It's confusing.
Why would Rockruff want Luigi to meet with her in that meeting room? What would be the reason? I know there was some stuff in there. What proves she was in there? And what proves what they could have been doing? I remember now. Check that room out, shown by Boo and Diddy. We didn't find much, but we did have Kirby and Azriel's alibi that proves that they were both in there. But along with this, there was also evidence in that room that suggests someone was in there at that time. Let me guess. You're gonna talk about the wine spillage or the blood patch. Yes, the wine spillage. But the blood patch also works. When we were in that room, we ended up seeing two pieces of evidence along the floor. There was an entire wine bottle shattered across the ground, spilling a bunch of wine onto the wooden floor, and there was also some blood packed on the ground in a pile. A blood spill and a wine spill in the same room?
But why would both of those objects or remnants of objects be in that room?
I mean, wine and blood in that same room. How do both of those things make sense?
Yeah, doesn't there have to be a reason for both? Well, let's think of what we know about this case. Medic is the only one who seemed to have taken Luigi and Rockruff, from what we heard of the voice recording. From this, there means something must have happened to lead up to that. The only place we remember seeing Rockruff last was in the meeting room with Luigi. That would be true. Along with this, there's also the blood. We know Rockruff bled out to death. I wouldn't believe it's so hard to believe that maybe that slash on the neck could have been a lot later if she had to bleed out. I imagine that maybe she was cut in the meeting room.
Are you saying the blood from Rockruff? That blood pile is from her?
Well, perhaps there was an attack in that meeting room. I mean, I don't see how else. The only explanation we have for all this at this very moment is if Medic took Luigi and Rockruff. And if that's the case, then why would he do it? And why would he take the hacksaw? I mean, the blood is self-explanatory. But what about the wine bottle? How does that work?
Yeah, why would there be a wine bottle that's shattered in that room?
That's the one thing that doesn't seem to make sense. Maybe... Perhaps Rockruff tried to give something to Luigi?
But Rockruff was shoved into the room by Medic afterwards. It's not like that was happened at first.
You have a point though. Why would there be a wine spillage in that room? After all, the only other wine is 2 floors away. I mean, it's not like they could have gotten it early at that late of night. Actually, they could have. See, all the rooms on the 5th floor are not affected by the nighttime hours, unlike some of the other rooms, so they could have gotten there anytime they please. Oh, okay, but still, how does this make sense? Oh, wait a minute, I think I got it, but I don't know if you'll like it. You got it? Kirby,
What are you saying?
I think I may know why that wine spillage is there, and what ended up causing what had happened. You do? Do you know what may have happened to Luigi? It's a very huge stretch. I'm not sure if you all would even believe me, but I do believe it's the only thing that could explain everything we've seen so far. What do you mean? I mean, it's a really huge stretch, but knowing Rocket's current condition and how desperate she was getting, I don't think it would be a huge stretch for her to do this.
What are you trying to get at? Are you wanting us to decipher your words?
I don't even know if I can wear down myself. It's a huge stretch.
I want to know what happened to Luigi. You best say it, Kirby.
Well, if you're not allowed to say it, then who is? I may be able to figure out what you're trying to get at, Kirby. You think you'll be able to? Perhaps. If you're gonna have to explain it to me, though. I may be able to figure out what's going on and what point you might be trying to spread to us. Well, if you're so sure, you're probably the second smartest person in this room. I can trust you. So, hear me out. Hopefully I'll be able to explain what I'm trying to get at. We only know the start and end points to this murder. Rockruff going to get Luigi, and it ending with Medic capturing Luigi and throwing Rockruff into the wine cellar. But what was Rockruff's motive for getting Luigi? Kirby seems to know. I'm going to have to listen to what Kirby says and piece together his words if we're going to understand why Rockruff may have brought Luigi. From what we know, Rockruff was beginning to get desperate to find the mastermind. Nobody else here knows who the mastermind is except for the servants. If the two met up together, Rockruff probably wanted to get answers out. Luigi wouldn't do it for fear of dying, but because of the wine spillage, we may have another answer. Rockruff was wanting to get answers. Do you understand what she was trying to do? I understand now. Oh, that makes sense. But wait. Oh no. What, do you get it? I think I know what Rockruff was trying to do. Rockruff was desperate to find the mastermind at this point. All other means had failed. We lost the flashlight, the memory retainers no longer work. Everything had been failing, yet she wanted answers. The only people who knew who the mastermind was are the servants. She needed to get answers from the servants, but Luigi wouldn't give it normally. And the only reason there could be wine spillage there is if Rockruff tried a certain method to get Luigi to tell him. Wait, you seriously aren't saying? I think Rockruff tried to get Luigi drunk.
Seriously?
What? Rockruff tried to do that? Seriously? That's how the wine got there? What? What the? It's not that far-fetched of a theory. Luigi at this point was growing weak from the killing game and losing all his friends, correct? If anything, he could be easily manipulated. After all, just a couple little drinks of some alcohol and he'd probably be convincing enough to say it, even if it may cost him his own death. After all, Luigi was getting desperate as well. Both of them were. And that's how the wine spillage had gotten there. Now I think we can piece together a pretty rough timeline at this point. Rockruff and Luigi met up together after she wanted to get answers, and then they were in the meeting room. She went to go get some wine from the wine cellar. When she came back, something made her spill that wine, and got all the blood to spill everywhere from her neck.
Rockruff was attacked by the neck, by the saw. That's what caused the neck wound.
And that only makes sense if they were the one to cause it. Yep, that means Medic was the one who probably got them both. I think that's a good rough timeline of how we figured things out at this point. That makes perfect sense. After she brought the wine back, then the Medic probably attacked them both. And that's how he managed to get control over both of them, putting Rockruff in the cellar and taking Luigi to I didn't want to call you insane. Are you kidding? Luigi being forced to get drunk. You wouldn't give up that easily. What the? Oh shoot. You really think Luigi would be that numb? I get he was going through something at this point after losing all his friends except for me. But for him to listen to Rockruff and know that he was being tricked? That's impossible. Luigi's smarter than that. But Rouse, it's the only option. They were trying to trick Luigi. Both of them were growing desperate for answers. Luigi needs some help, and Rockruff probably came up to him with that offer to help. But Luigi would have seen right through it. I mean, if Rockruff went to go get treats after meeting in the meeting room, Luigi would have noticed something was off. I mean, he also saw Rockruff's insaneness. He would have done something. But, and to especially be attacked by what we think is Medic, he's the only one who we know at the end result got both of them. That means Medic must have been the one to attack him, but how would he get to Luigi? Luigi wouldn't accept any of it. No, that's not true. I can prove Luigi had to go through all of it. He was captured, and he was tricked. I know it. Please, I know I'm friends with you, Chalice, for a long time, but you have to stop this. I can't hear you say this. I'm sorry, Rossi. I know you and me have something good, but I know what's right and what's wrong. This is the right option, and if you're going to make it hard for me, I'm going to have to prove it to you. Chalice, please, I don't want to fight you. We don't have to fight. I'm trying to show you the truth, but it doesn't work that way. Luigi, I know he was going through some rough times, and I knew him better than anyone else, but he wouldn't be that dumb to get tricked by Rockruff and to be taken by Medic. Yeah, both of them were getting very desperate to learn the truth, trying to get away out of this killing game. Rockruff would easily be able to use Luigi and his saddened abilities to get him drunk and understand the truth. Self-heal. But what about Medic? I mean, if he was the one who ended up taking them in the end, then how did he do that? What the? After all, Medic may have known that they were in there, and Medic's fear was of the servants. Of course he would also go after Luigi to learn the same truth, but Luigi would have noticed this. I mean, he noticed it first out of everyone else. Of course he would be aware. Luigi had no choice. He was taken by Medic. Then that's not possible, because nothing could have been used to let Medic take him. No, I'm sorry, Rouse, but that's not right. What the? Yeah. I'm sorry we had to fight this way. You best have a good answer for this. Oh, I do. Actually, I know of a way where Medic would be able to take Luigi away, along with Rockruff. You have a method. What could this method be? How would Medic be able to take Luigi away? We found an object, an item, inside of the wine cellar along with Rockruff's body. An interesting one. We found a cloth. This cloth was induced with a knockout drug.
Oh, I remember that now.
You found a cloth with a knockout drug inside of it?
Yes, it was sprayed all over it. A whiff and I already felt dizzy.
Are you saying that Medic probably used that on Luigi to knock him out? After all, yes, Luigi, even though he was in a state, would fight back, unless he didn't see their assailant coming. They didn't see Medic with the cloth. But how does that work? Yeah, it's confusing to piece all of this together and all these events.
That makes no sense. You have to have a reason.
I do have a reason. I think we'll be able to understand it. Why don't we go ahead and piece things together? Do you have any available paper, Kirby? I do have some available paper, yes? Well... Oh, you still have this from the first trial? It's the only available paper I have that can be drawn on right now. Sorry. Works enough for me. Alright, I'm gonna erase all of this and show you what I mean. Our timeline of events so far. Alright, I've written out a small timeline that may help piece things together. So, from what we know, this is the only possible outcome. Rockruff met up with Luigi after finding out the memory retainers no longer count for these murders and can't be found for the mastermind. When they go into the meeting room, Rockruff goes to get drinks in hopes of getting Luigi drunk. At some point while she was gone, Medic attacks Luigi. This has to be, because otherwise Rockruff would have no reason to drop the wine when she returns back to the room, unless she saw something frightening, and which was Medic clothing Luigi. Next, Medic slashes Rockruff in the neck and takes them both back into the wine cellar and the working room. But why would Medic go after Luigi?
Well, he was afraid of the servants. I mean, if anything, He probably did it to try and get to Luigi and do something to him.
But how exactly does that work? You realize that if Medic was the one to end up taking Luigi back, why would he do it?
He was afraid of the servants, and from what we heard, he seemed to have been interrogating Luigi.
I don't think he expected Rockruff to be there. Medic is the only one who we know could have taken him. He's the only end result to have gotten both of them. Both Luigi and Rockruff. Especially from what we heard from the voice recording. But why take Luigi? I know Rockruff was trying to learn it, but Medic wouldn't get anything out of Luigi, even if he forced him to that machine. I'm pretty sure there would have been a point where Medic probably would want to learn everything. But how does that work? I get Medic was afraid of the servants, but for him to have suddenly instinctive powers to want to find the mastermind, when does that come into play? The fears can make people do irrational things. I wouldn't be surprised if Medic's fear also caused him to want to learn the truth, just to make sure the servants weren't a threat to him anymore. But that makes no sense. Medic had no intentions of finding the mastermind, just helping everyone find it. And he was working on the Wayback Light. For him to get Luigi, just to learn the truth about the killing game goes against everything. He was afraid from the motive.
And then he left Rockruff because he wasn't intending for her to be there. It makes no sense.
Exactly. There's no way Medic could have done this on purpose. Medic was just doing it because of intention. He must have done it on accident. It was his mind going crazy. But we heard him turn on the thing. This is too much. I don't know where to go from this. I feel like we're all getting somewhere bad. It's being forced us into a... It's forcing us into a split. I saw you looking at me, Chalice. You wanted it to happen, do you? I don't see how else I'm going to be able to prove my point here and now. Well then, I believe it's now time then. Really? We have come to an impasse. It seems our sides are split. Who do you think did it? Was Luigi's murder intentional by Medic, or was it on accident? What an interesting twist. Now let us see where it gets us. Everyone, if you believe this murder was an accident, go on this side. If you believe it was intentional murder, go on the other side. Well, it seems we come to an impasse. Time for a scrum debate. Everyone, if you believe that Medic wanted to kill Luigi, go to this side. If you think it's the other way around and he didn't, go to the other side and we'll figure it out. Oh gosh, not another scrum debate. I declare, Monokuma, that I'm joining in this scrum debate. I know what could have happened, Luigi, and I'm here to defend my point. Oh, you want to join? You are the only servant, so I'm not going to reject it. Go ahead and join. Good. I'm going to prove what happened to Luigi. Medic did not want to kill him. It was his mind going crazy. Luigi would have easily noticed something wrong. Looks like we're going to have to deal with all of this. We don't have a choice now, do we? No, our only choice now is to go through a scrum debate. I have to prove to Rouse that this is the only option. It has to be. Although it's going to be tough, I know Medic tried to kill Luigi intentionally. He wanted the answers. Now I'm going to have to prove it. Medic's fear is what made him afraid of the servants. Azrael. Which is even bigger reason for Medic to want to try and kill Luigi.
But there was nothing for Medic to gain by trapping Luigi.
I'll do it. He could have learned the Mastermind's identity, just like Rockruff was trying to do. But Medic wouldn't go to such great lengths to try and hurt Luigi. Brock.
You saw where Luigi was put. You saw what Medic was trying to do to him.
Then why would Medic take Rockruff along with him? Kirby. If Rockruff got out, she would reveal the truth of what happened to everyone. But Luigi would have fought back against Medic, wouldn't he? Azrael. No, you saw what state he was in. He wouldn't have been able to do anything. There is no way both of them were after Luigi. They couldn't get anything from him. I'll do it. I could have learned a lot due to the fears and learning the Mastermind to make it all end. I knew we should have been on the same side as the servant. It's over. The truth has been told. This is our answer. That's our answer. It's over from this point. Medic tried to take Luigi before Rockruff did. He didn't know Rockruff was trying to do the same. And do this for your servants, he took Luigi to threaten him and learn the truth.
But why? He repaired the flashlight. He could have easily brought it up for everyone to see.
But his fears got in the way. Exactly. His fears that the servants was too much for him. He felt like he had to take care of it. But due to Rockruff being around, he threw them into the wine cellar and left her there, bleeding out to death. So, if that's the case, then you're saying it's easy as that. The one responsible for Rockruff's murder is Medic himself. I knew it. Oh god, I can't believe this.
Poor thing. She must have been so cold in there, bleeding out to death the way she did.
And that means Luigi willingly got caught by the... No, this can't be Chalice. Why would you... Rouse, you have to realize it's the truth. Luigi's gone now, and the only one who could have done it was Medic. You have to understand that. Medic took him. Rockruff also tried to do the same. I don't know. I didn't expect it to be this way. I didn't want to be the last one. Please, Rouse, I still consider you a friend. You need to listen and help us. I don't know. I've lost so many. I didn't... I mean, I don't blame it. We all heard the voice recorder. I mean, it sounded like Medic was the one responsible.
Well, actually, it does bring up something. Speaking of the voice recorder, could we discuss it for a bit?
The voice recording? Huh? Why would we want to talk about that?
I mean, there was a lot on it, and we seem to have covered Rockruff's murder up entirely. Medic was the one who killed him. That's indefinite. The culprit who killed Medic was never involved, because they could have never known Rockruff was in there. But then this means one other thing. Who killed Medic?
They're right. We still haven't found out Medic's killer. We need to figure out who killed Medic, even if he ended up being the one to kill Rockruff, and maybe Luigi. So, is that what we're going to talk about next? We did finish ending up talking about that. I suppose it's right to move on to the next subject, trying to figure out what happened to Medic, and figure out their murder. Starting with the voice recorder. Yep, the voice recorder is the one piece of evidence that we have that strongly suits whatever we have in store. That voice recorder gave us a lot of evidence inside of us. We learned a lot from that voice recorder, but so...
Well then, I suggest we begin talking about the voice recorder and its purpose in all of this.
What else are we meant to talk about? It's either this or keep all this up. That voice recorder is important, and we need to discuss it. It is our key to figuring out everything that happened. Let us discuss what we heard about it, and we'll see what we can get to. Fine. I'll help if I can, but I'll do my best. I'm thankful Rousey is understanding now, but we still have Medic's murder to solve, and trying to figure out Luigi's as a side quest. We have to understand this. We have to figure out what happened to Luigi, and what Medic was doing to him. Me and Kirby found a voice recorder with Medic and Luigi's voice recorded onto it. We heard Luigi being interrogated by Medic for the mastermind's identity.
If we didn't cooperate, Rockruff would have died.
But in the video, we heard someone come in, an electric sound, along with someone being smashed in.
But then, there would be nothing that proves what it was that could have killed Luigi.
Wait, that's not right. Hold on, Dreambirds. I think it's actually pretty easy to figure out what it was that killed Luigi.
Huh? Do you believe so?
Yes. In that meeting, we heard an electric power going on. We heard something had been turned on the moment a crashing sound was heard. The culprits who killed them entering the room. This electric sound could have only come from one thing. The electric box that was tied to Luigi's collar. Right, the electric box. There was a cord on that electric box along with a switch. One press of a button would turn it on and send volts into Luigi's body. It was connected onto his collar, so it would shock him even more. But the culprit didn't know about that trap when they ran in. Then what happened? Medic was the one interrogating Luigi at the time. If anything, he was probably the one who ended up turning on the machine and electrocuting him. He was afraid, and he probably didn't want to be discovered and interrogating who he was. If anything, he probably, once the culprit entered the room and discovered what was going on, he flipped the switch, killing Luigi. That way, no one would be able to keep it.
But why go through the bother of recording the whole message? Why would he record all of it?
He probably wanted to show it to everyone. Once the mastermind's name was said by Luigi, he would show it to all of us, even if he was a bit violent in when it was.
Hold on, but we're just guessing the electric box could have made it work. I mean, there was a bunch of other weapons in that room that could have done it. What's to say the electric box was it?
Come on, that's fairly obvious. I want to know everything, please. What proves the electric box was what killed him? I do know of one piece of evidence. It's a fairly simple one. A certain something was used to be the thing that ended up engraving and showing that Luigi died by the electric box. What was it? You know what it is, Chalice. Certainly. I remember now. When we were investigating Luigi's body, we took a look at his wounds. He didn't have any wounds on him besides some immense bleeding from his eyes and his mouth, anything that would have been caused from an electric shock like he received. There were no wounds suggesting anything else could have done it. Yeah, I checked his body. He had no wounds on him except for anything that could have come from the electric shock. So he died from the electricity.
That trap could have only been turned on by Medic. He was the only one who had access to the remote, and he was recording the whole scenario as he was doing this.
That's true. I mean, it was all of that was being solved in the end. I mean, if anything, he probably did just to let everyone find the mastermind. And when the culprit came in, he had to ditch the plan to be quick, so he turned off the power. Well, it was upon instinct, and the culprit never knew Rockruff was in that room. Only Luigi and Medic did. If anything, he probably turned it on to make sure no one else would be found. And if the culprit was trying to be quick, of course they wouldn't look at the voice recording. It didn't seem like it was tampered with.
The voice recording is genuine. Everything we know on it is already listed on there. The culprit must have killed Medic and ran out before anything.
Okay, but then what was it that was used to kill Medic? What was used to kill Medic? I mean, yeah, we don't know exactly what it was that was used to kill him. The only weapon we ever found was that saw blade.
He was smashed in the head pretty hard. The only two weapons we did find was, well, the electric trap used on Luigi, and the saw blade used on Rockruff. And Medic's entire head was smashed in.
How did Medic die? That shouldn't be too hard. Though it's hard to see something smashing in Medic's head as much as it was. Though there must be something I'm forgetting in my mind. Something must have caused what was his wounds, right? If so, then what was it? The only weapons we know of were the saw and the electric trap.
But both were used on different people besides Medic.
If that's the case, then would Medic? He was brutally smashed in the head. Something ought to have killed him.
The weapon had to be something strong, correct?
But I don't believe we found anything strong like that. Wait, that's not right. There is one thing that is screaming into my head that could have been used to kill Medic. The candlestick.
Candlestick?
That thing I found covered in blood? Yes, there was a candlestick found at the crime scene by Azriel. The bottom of this candlestick was covered in blood. It's one of the thick ones, one of the heavy ones with the metal base at the end. Like one of the things you'd find on the hallway walls of the room? Yes, you could find those there. It was one of those weapons. I remember it clearly. But those were everywhere in that in the 5th floor hallway. The culprit could have just pulled it off and used it to kill Medic.
I do agree though. They are strong enough to have done the damage that was seen on Medic. Strong enough to have bashed his entire head inside.
Ugh, that sight still gives me so many chills. Well, if that's the case, then we found out what killed Medic. It was a candlestick. Each weapon was used respectively on a different person. For Rockruff, it was the saw blade. For Luigi, it was the electric trap Medic had attached him to. And for Medic, it was the candlestick.
Medic, killed in the working room by the candlestick. Huh, where have I heard that before?
Okay, so we know what killed him. What now? Nothing. Huh? Nothing. There's nowhere else to go from here. I hope you realize that. Nowhere. There's literally no other evidence to talk about. What? But that's not true. Think about it. I know I hate to say it, but I made a realization. We know from all of this, it's safe to say that Medic is responsible for 2 murders. Luigi and Rockruff, trapped in the wine cellar and the other electrocuted when the culprit found them. But can I bring to your attention? We know nothing about our culprit. Not a single thing. What do you mean we don't know anything about him? Yeah, surely we do, right? No, not really. The only thing that can be found out about the culprit is the simple fact that they came in to try and save Luigi, and the fact that they bashed him in with a candlestick. That's the only thing we know about the culprit. Any other evidence is used for Medic's case in his murder. We know absolutely nothing about the culprit. Well, the culprit had to be awake in the 5th floor. I mean, how else were they able to get there? Those rooms on the 5th floor are unlocked daily basis. No, surely we know more. I'm gonna have to agree with her on this, Ron. What? We do know nothing. I mean, everything we know about the culprit is set in stone, don't we? What? No, that's not possible. We can't have hit a dead end.
But then where do we go from here? Everything that we know about our culprit has already been said. Besides the fact they ran in to try and save Luigi and bashed in the head, we know nothing about our culprit.
What? How do we not know anything about our culprit? That makes no sense. We only know everything that happened to Medic and Rockruff's murder and Luigi's murder? How is this possible? So, what are you saying? Are you saying we can't solve this murder? I'm not thinking of anything that could be used to solve everything that's going on. Yeah, we've used every single piece of evidence for something. Azriel isn't wrong about that. Every piece of evidence has been used to prove something related to how Luigi died, or Medic and Rockruff. But the only 2 things used for Medic's murder don't show us who killed him. Are we stuck? Have we truly hit a dead end? Are we unable to solve this murder? But how? I know Medic is now a killer, thinking about it, and he killed 2 people because of the fears, but someone used their own fear against him. Their own fear. Wait! I think I know something that may help us find the culprit. What?
What do you know?
You're right about one thing, Rouseg. We do know nothing about the culprit. But from what we've learned in the investigation. But it's not from what was found in the investigation that matters. It's what happened before the investigation. What are you saying, Chalice? Please don't be so far-fetched. Kirby, there is one thing. A piece of evidence that isn't evidence. Rather, something all of us shared. Something each of us had differently. You're talking about the motive, right? Yes, we know nothing about our culprit besides what we know from the motive. That is it. However, we can use the motive to be able to pinpoint the culprit. The culprit was someone who was willing to run in the face of danger just to save Luigi and see what Medic was doing, with the courage to smack him down and kill him. How would fears be the one to be able to result in all of that? Well, it's not as far-fetched. We can immediately rule off a few people as suspects. There are some people in this room with fears that wouldn't be able to impact anything from this case, as we know so far. My fear... You know, Azriel and Kirby's fear are of both death and losing a best friend. Azriel never found Luigi as a friend, as they barely interacted. And Kirby wouldn't go in the face of death, knowing he would risk his own life. Us 3 are innocent from this case. That means, and it can't be Boo either, because he's immune from the motive. At least I'm worth something. I told you it gets me out of trouble. You still killed to get that outcome. Whatever. I don't give a damn. Because of this, our culprit has to have someone who had the available fear to be able to do this. It can either be Dreambirds, Flareon, Diddy Kong, or Brock. Someone here must have killed. Over our fears? What? How is that possible?
I didn't do it. And I wouldn't have done it either. That simply is not possible.
It makes sense though. One of you four's fears is what caused this murder to happen. We need to be able to figure out those fears if we ever want to find the culprit.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
I didn't kill Medic. It wasn't me.
I don't see how this will help anyone.
If we find out what each person is afraid of, we could find a match that could be able to help us assist in figuring out who would have a fear that would make them run in and try and save Luigi. Exactly. We need to find out everyone's fears right here, right now. Otherwise, things won't go well at all. We have to do this for everyone. We need to find out Medic, a killer's culprit, which is something saying, but we have to figure it out. We can't risk losing a class trial. Well then, we know what we're doing. I suggest everyone here who is still a suspect admit their fears.
What?
We're not doing that. It's the only way to be able to find out which one of you amongst everyone could be the culprit. We need to learn everyone's fears right now. Yes, the motive will lead us to the truth. We will find out who did it. It's the only chance. Alright, everyone who is still a suspect, we're gonna go around in a circle and learn everyone's fears. Starting with Brock.
What? Why me? I suppose we don't have a choice. Fine, I'll say my fear. My fear is being used. As someone who knew he was a memory retainer, I was afraid I would be used to find the mastermind. And I knew I wouldn't be able to help. That was my fear. So when you all admitted to me, I became a bit better. I'm sorry for what happened. That's my fear.
Alright, Diddy Kong next. My fear? Well, if I were to take a fear, it would be misunderstood. Being misunderstood? I mean, I am the youngest person here out of all of you, and you all know that. I haven't been able to really share my feelings about everything in this killing game. That's what I was afraid of most, being unable to share anything that was happening to me in the fear of this game. Poor Diddy. Well, next up, Flareon. My fear was losing everything I care about. The people here, my family. I didn't want to lose all of that in this game. I just wanted to get home and go back to them. Especially after the motives, hurting my family and the things going outside of this killing game. I just want to go back and make sure they're all okay. Poor thing. Not like it matters anyways. Dreambirds?
My fear is unable to get back home and losing my entire kingdom. I'm afraid that if I don't get out of here, I'll result in something bad. I want to be able to go back home and help everyone. That's it. Nothing more.
Well, that's everyone's fears who are still suspect, right? That is correct. This means that the culprit has to be one of them. Actually, I do find one of those claims suspicious. What? Are you kidding? Which one? There's someone here who's lying about their fears. And I know who it is who's lying. And I can pinpoint it and find the culprit. The person who killed Medic is... It can't be anyone but you! I know whose fear is suspicious. Our main suspect in all of this. I know who it is. And I hate to say it. Diddy Kong, why are you lying? Chalice? Wait, why are you putting attention on me? What are you saying? I remembered something from a few days ago. When you, me, and Dreamburst were looking to find evidence on the mastermind, I asked about everyone's fears, and you said something completely different. Well, my body does keep feeling a bit stiff at times, like I don't want to move. Maybe it's frozen fear reaction? No, it's like my body is choosing when to move, like sudden reactions, I guess. It is a bit weird. Alone, your fear was a fight or flight response, having an option in a tough situation. But now you're saying it's you being misunderstood. You're lying, aren't you? What?
Are you kidding me?
No, it can't be Diddy Kong. Diddy? But he's the youngest one here.
Chalice, you seriously can't be suggesting it's actually Diddy. I mean, really?
What? I never lied about my fear. It wasn't a fight or flight response. I was just making a guess back then as to what my fear was. I didn't know it for certain. You're making assumptions, Chalice. I didn't kill Medic.
He has the point though. The only thing we know about the culprit is that they had a fear. Diddy Kong has a fight or flight response. If he saw Luigi in trouble, being threatened by Medic, he would have had a choice. And evidently, he ran in to be able to stop the whole situation.
What? That is not true. You're all ridiculous. I didn't kill Medic. You really think I, the youngest one here, would go through all the trouble to try and kill someone who killed 2 other people?
You wouldn't have known the other 2 were killed. You wouldn't have even known Rockruff was in there.
No! That's not true. I would have known. I would have saved Rockruff. After all, I would have gone in there to save Luigi.
Well, I've never seen Diddy this angry before.
He's actually acting irrational. Guess like it goes. Guess the anger of another person being killed goes from brother to brother.
Don't make a DK joke right now.
Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, you don't need to act this way. You're doing something very weird. You're scaring us. Please.
Will you just shut up? You're insane. I am the youngest one here, and you're claiming me to have killed Medic.
What? Diddy, please don't act like this.
I did not kill Medic. I didn't go in there to save Luigi. Those floors may have been open, but it wasn't me. I don't know how to prove my name. I do know how to prove my name. I can prove myself innocent. I can prove that you're wrong. What the hell is going on with him? He's never acted like this before.
A reaction like this only happens when someone's being accused. I think we're right. It has to be Diddy, but the way he's acting this way, it's unlike him.
Diddy Kong is still logical. The most logical one, even if he's the youngest. But even after killing, I expect him to put up a stronger fight, not franticness.
Is something else going on with Diddy? Why would he be acting in such a frantic way? I'm gonna have to rebuttal him and prove him wrong. After all, he wants answers. I don't know what's going on, but I know you have to be the killer, and I'm going to prove it.
Telling you, I did kill Medic. Ow, what the? I know Luigi was being threatened by an insane medical mastermind, but if anything, I wouldn't have dared to go and save him. Yes, you would. You and Luigi were friends outside of this killing game. Of course you would try and go and help him, just to help yourself. Not true! I did not do any of that. I am not responsible. It's over. Diddy Kong, I don't know why you're acting this way, but you need to. You have no proof why I would be awake. You don't know anything. I did not kill it. Yes, you did. And I can... You don't know anything, Chalice. You're forcing me into a position I don't want to be in. I just want to forget. What? It wasn't my fault. What are you talking? Wait, please. You're a rational person. You always think logically. You always know what to say. Please. I know you're in there. I don't know why you're acting this way, but please understand. Fine. I confess. What? If you're so lucky enough, I'll say it. I did it. What the? I confess, it was me, okay? I did it. I killed Medic.
What the shit?
He's confessing? You prove it right. I was trying so hard to hide it, but yes, you know I'm lying. It was me. I told you the real Diddy Kong would confess his crime. He's not the type to hide it, but he's still anxious as hell. I did it! I did it right. I'm telling you it was me. Just... everything you said is right. I didn't know any of this had happened. I didn't know Rockruff was in there. I didn't know what he was trying to do to Luigi. I just ran in with the candlestick and bashed Medic over the head just to try and help Luigi. And I was late. And now he's dead. I caused all of it. It's over. I'm telling you the truth. I killed him. Just vote me already. I made a mistake and I can't get back from it. What the hell is going on here?
This isn't Diddy Kong. He's never acted like this before.
Is he going crazy or something?
No. He's scared.
What?
Diddy Kong is acting the way he normally is. I can see it inside of him. The normal Diddy Kong would give a confession the way he has been. He's admitting to his murder. After all, he's the youngest, and from what we know of him, he wouldn't hide the fact he murders if he lost. The only issue is, something else is in his mind. I can feel it.
Something's making him lash out. Something's making him act erratical right now.
But what? What is making him act this way?
Well, I don't know. Something is off. If we already confirmed what his fear was, this couldn't be the fear that's causing it. The whole point of the motive was to create something that could stick in your mind and last for the rest of the killing game. A permanent fear. That way, once you're already afraid of it, you'd stay afraid of it. But a fear like a fight or flight response isn't what's going on with Diddy Kong right now. It's something else.
But it can't be anyone else. It has to be Diddy.
Can't we just vote and make it over with? No, we can't do that to him. Something is going on with his head. Even if he's being irrational right now, we have to help him. I mean, we have to figure out what's going on with him, right? But he's already confessed. We could just vote for him and be done with it. But something's haunting him. Something about this murder is scaring him. It's a fear inside of him. But if it's not the fight or flight response, then what's making him act this way? No, we're not ending it yet. We need to find out why he's acting this way. I suggest we keep this going. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on with him. What? I've already confessed everything. You don't need to keep me here. I said I'm a murderer and I'm a terrible person. Just do it already. No, we're gonna keep this going. We're going to figure out what's going on with you. We need to be able to help you. I can see a point in this. I don't want to let him get executed the way he is. That's just not fair.
We need to figure out what's going on with him. Can we even do that?
I'm pretty sure I can figure out what's going on with his mind right now. Something is up that isn't the same fear as earlier. A different fear is haunting him. Something about this murder. What is that fear? Don't worry, Kirby. The rest of us can deal with him while you figure out what's going on. We're here to help you, Diddy Kong. We know you made a mistake, but we're not gonna let you give up as easily. We want to hear what's going on with you. There's nothing going on with me! You don't need to do this! I am a murderer, you hear? I am a murderer and nothing else! Why are you trying to save me? Why? Please stop this.
All of his emotions are mixing.
Tell if it's a confession or not anymore. The room. Luigi may have still been with us.
Medic had gone crazy. If anything, he would have killed Luigi either way.
No. Shut up! Whoa! All the servants are now dead. What if Medic was right about his suspicions of them?
Even so, he threatened Luigi with his life.
Shut up! I left Rockruff to bleed out in that freezer. I could have saved him. You didn't know she was in there. You didn't know any better. You shut up. Rockruff, it must have been so cold in there.
If only we had known they were in there sooner.
Medic really lost his mind, didn't he? He used Luigi to threaten everyone. So messed up. Shut up. Do it though. Why did I kill Medic? When you saw him attack Luigi, you were so filled with rage. You had to do something. That's not
One to act that way.
You were trying to do the right thing, Diddy.
Please, Diddy, you must listen to us. But Medic never acted this way. Why did he try to interrogate Luigi?
He feared the servants knew more than what they said, and so he tried to
Kill him. No. That's it. Hold him down, everyone. Yeah. No. I'm sorry, Diddy Kong. Never wanted this. Why? Tell me. Why? What is my fear that's making me act this way? Scared. Scared of being executed. Just like what happened to Donkey Kong. What? No. He didn't. That's not true. You're wrong. Wasn't my fault. Well, listen. I never did anything. You're all crazy. Why can't you listen? I never. Please, Diddy. No. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do it. How? What? Kirby, what are you? My fear is being executed? It's simple.
The fear is only what's currently haunting you. You did have a fight or flight response. It's what made you run in and try to save Luigi. But you failed. Once you killed Medic, you realized that it would be up for murder. But not only that, by choosing your fight or flight response, you conquered your fear. So it moved on to the next one. You were afraid of being executed after you killed Medic. Because of how the motive works. It chose your next fear, being executed at the state of mind you were. Just like Donkey Kong was. You can't let go, can you? That's why you're acting this way. You're afraid of dying.
That can't be. His fear changed after he killed Medic, because he conquered the old one.
It makes sense.
But then, that must mean he's our killer. He killed. And he's acting this way because he's afraid to be executed.
This can't be. I thought...
I'm sorry.
The murder started a couple days ago. Monokuma had introduced his new motive, fears, or an enhancement of one. Every hour, a person's fear would get increased a bit. They would become more scared of their very personal fears, ones that they had gotten from this killing game, and this killing game alone. One of these people was greatly affected by this motive, Medic. He had a fear of the servants in this killing game, and that they were behind more than just by normal. Because of this, Medic had gone and felt something different in his mind. Something that made him scared of the servants, something which he had to fix. A couple of days later, Luigi and Rockruff had ended up taking a little meeting with each other to try and figure out the truth behind this killing game. Luigi had promised to tell her the mastermind and reveal everything due to them both being weak after many trauma in this killing game. However, their partnership was seen by Kirby and Azriel, who took note of this to help us find the culprit. Both Rockruff and Luigi had made it to the meeting room where the two of them could talk together silently. However, Rockruff had everything planned out. Everything was in order. With this room being by the new rooms, Rockruff had left to go get a couple drinks. However, Rockruff's plan was just to get Luigi and tell him everything before finishing him off. Rockruff had ended up getting a couple wine bottles from the wine cellar and pouring them into a container, This was done so that she could bring some alcohol up to hopefully get Luigi in a doozy state to let him tell the mastermind. But while Luigi waited, the medic had arrived and had planned things. He had taken a cloth which was doused in alcohol, along with a saw blade, and went to action. He ran up to Luigi and used the cloth to muffle him, making the alcohol seep into his body, making him begin to fall asleep from the knockout drugs. Rockruff had arrived quickly though. Seeing the scene, she dropped the wine she was holding, causing a spill on the floor. Despite this, Rockruff quickly went into action. However, Medic overpowered her, slicing Rockruff in the neck with the saw. From this, Rockruff began to bleed out from the neck, getting a blood patch on the ground, showing where this crime scene had actually happened. With this, he had also muffled Rockruff's mouth, knocking them both out. He had 2 people at his disposal at this point. However, Medic only needed Luigi's body, so he ended up taking a different plan of action. Leaving the cloth behind, he had ended up doing something else. Medic took Rockruff's body and threw her into the wine cellar, locking her inside as she was still knocked out and slowly bleeding to death. Medic, only wanted to focus on Luigi, had strapped him to a strange device, a metal plate keeping him in place with a cord in the back, tied all the way to a battery cord which could be turned on and off. He was ready to shock Luigi, but not before he got answers. When Luigi woke up, he immediately found himself in the situation he was, but Medic had other plans. He recorded the conversation of him and Luigi talking to plan things out, trying to get him to convince him to tell the mastermind, and everything the servants were hiding, instead of everything else. However, thanks to Luigi's state in this recording, and learning and Medic telling us where Rockruff was, we learned some crucial information about this case. However, the main part of it was that if Luigi didn't tell any of the truths about this killing game, Rockruff would be left in the freezer to die, and so would Luigi die. But that's when the Black Hand came into play. They noticed the open door to the workroom. Realizing that someone was inside, they ended up finding Luigi being interrogated by Medic. In fear, due to the motive, they had to do something. That's when they got an idea. Grabbing a candlestick right outside the room, then the culprit ran in and tried to save Luigi. However, Medic saw this and quickly pressed the button. This button caused Luigi to shock from the collar and the electric battery connected to him. The electricity shocked him so much that he had died from the electricity, bleeding out everywhere. But it wasn't over. In instinct at Luigi's death, the culprit used the candlestick and hit Medic over the head. With this blow to the head, Medic had died, and the candlestick was left bloodied. In instinct after what the culprit had done and the failure to save Luigi, they dropped the candlestick and ran. At this very moment, after killing the culprit, Medic, they had realized something. Their fear for this motive had changed from going to the flight response that they had caused killing Medic, to the result of being afraid of execution. And so, they ran. And that's how we found out the culprit. But Rockruff, stuck in the freezer and unable to escape from the harsh cold and her bleeding wound, had died. Rockruff had died from her neck wound and the immense cold in the room. The culprit didn't even know she was in there, but if they stuck around, they may have been able to save her, but it was too late. 3 murders, all of them pointing back to one person. Diddy Kong, the ultimate rocketeer. Why did it have to be you? You didn't have to do this. That's it. That's what I've been afraid of. I knew something had changed once I killed him. I just couldn't tell what. Thank you. I'm sorry I had to be a burden to you all. I just wanted to save Luigi. He was hurting him. I couldn't let him go. I had to do it. I had to save him. I didn't want to die like my brother, though. I didn't want to die like him. I'm sorry. That's a confession. Diddy Kong, you actually did it. Foo-hoo-hoo. Well, it seems like we finished what you were trying to get at, and since I wasn't offered to vote earlier, but you declined it,
I suppose now will be the time for voting. Everyone, cast your votes, and we will see if you get it right or wrong. Even I can see how messed up this is. I don't want to vote him now.
You realize if we don't, things will get worse for us.
I don't want to vote Diddy. He made a mistake, and he's scared. He's afraid of being executed, but we have to. Chalice, sometimes the rough decisions are the right ones. Diddy Kong's already confessed. I know you won't like it, but it has to happen. I'm sorry. You taught me to get over this pain. I want to help you the same. You have to do it. You're right. We have to do it. We have no other choice now. I'm sorry. Foo-foo-foo. All the votes have been cast. Let us see who it is who has received the most votes. Ooh, all the votes have been cast. We have 5 votes for Diddy Kong, with 2 votes for Boo, and 1 vote for Lady Chalice.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't bring myself to vote him.
Why would you all vote him? He's just so young, and yet you were voting him.
He killed someone, but
To let him do this? Why? Because of this, Diddy Kong will soon receive punishment, after a word from him himself. I know, but Diddy, I was just so scared. I didn't want him to die. It's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind anything. I'm sorry for what I did. I should have realized the mistake. I couldn't help myself then. I felt like I had to save Luigi. I wish I could have known Rockruff was in there. I could have saved her in there, but I left her to die. What have I done? I'm a failure. I'm so sorry, DK. I didn't want to follow in your footsteps in this game, but... God fucking damn it, why? I'm tearing up over this.
I can't believe we're doing this. Why? Why do we have to vote him?
Diddy, why? I didn't want to do this. I didn't think you would murder her. I was being irrational. I did something I regretted. I didn't want to do this. And yet, I killed Medic. I know he killed 2 other people, but killing someone who killed wasn't justifiable. I freaked out and I didn't understand. What is wrong with me?
This is just wrong. I don't want to do this killing game anymore. It makes all this so hard.
I don't know how to feel. Not even I can say anything right now. I want to help him. He's afraid to die right now. He's afraid of execution, but I can't let him be executed. I don't know what to do now. Diddy Kong, I know how you feel. We didn't want this for you either, but some things we just make mistakes on it. I can't do this either. This is bullshit. I can't believe we're crying over someone who killed. He's just as bad as his brother. He can't do anything. It says a lot for you. What? You were the one who resulted in all of this, you realize. What are you talking about?
Do you not see, you dumbass? The only reason he has a fear of execution after he killed was because of Donkey Kong. And who was the one who made Donkey Kong die?
You. He was a murderer, and he's the exact same. Do you not at least feel a little bit of remorse? He's afraid of dying. And the only reason he's afraid is because of you and your choices.
And what are you doing?
Diddy? Why do you want to talk to me? You're already a mass murderer who killed 3 people, including my best friend. I don't need you right now, We all make mistakes. Sometimes we already know that we've already reached an outcome and we don't realize it. Sometimes we want to do what's best for ourselves. That was the case for me, but for you it was for others. I didn't understand that until what now? You really want to save Luigi. I should have realized Donkey Kong meant the same good heart. I shouldn't have done it. I know you're mad, but please. I don't want you to die afraid of death. That's how I became the way I am. Please. Can you be a bit stronger right now? I know you're about to die, and I didn't want to vote for you. Can you please be strong? What am I gonna do? I'm going to die from execution. There's nothing I can do, Boo. I can't even trust you. I know you can't trust me. But there is one thing you can do. You can run. What? Run. Just... you need to go. Are you... Oh, I heard that. Don't you think you're trying to start something? Go. Listen, he's going to... if you don't want to be executed, then you want to stand in the face of it and take it on. You gotta get out of here and escape from it. Right. Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry for all the mistakes I've made, but... I'm sorry for being such a monster and killing everyone, but... I'm doing something different now. I'm not gonna let you execute me, Monokuma. I'm not gonna allow it. Go! What the... Come on, he needs to get out of here. We can't let him experience the same fate. Should we help him? I think... Oh, no. I don't think that's gonna be happening here. I won't let you... Let me out. I don't think so, Diddy. You're going to be executed right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now then, Diddy Kong, the ultimate rocketeer, has apparently been found guilty.
No, he's not gonna make it. But we need to help him. We can't let him die. He's too young.
He needs to fix his execution. If he can get through his execution, he may be able to escape. Diddy Kong, listen, you need to go. You need to face your fears head on. It's the only way to do anything. I learned it the hard way. You need to learn the same. Now then, it's time for the punishment.
I don't want to.
Right. Fine then. If that's how we're gonna have it, it's going to be the way it is. Take me. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I will accept whatever it is you have for me. I won't be afraid. Thank goodness I got him in time. He was actually about to win the execution. I couldn't have that. Good thing I managed to shoot him down when I did. Foo-hoo-hoo. I do suppose him crashing into that giant steel wall was worth something.
Fuck. Wait, this can't be.
I thought he was going to make it. He was right there. What the fuck is wrong with you, Monokuma? He was that close. It's not like I'm gonna let him win. If I did that, that would just be unfair. He slammed into that wall. It's incredible speed. No way he could be alive. I thought he would... I can't believe you, Monokuma. You let him die the way you did. Yep, I did. And now we're gonna see if he was guilty or not. Diddy Kong was the culprit. You will all be able to go free. Go free. This isn't freedom, this is torment. We've been dealing with all these deaths day after day, but this one was... This is not fair. He had so much and you let him die anyways. Like, you rigged that death. You rigged him so he would lose. Duh, of course.
We're not having that anymore.
No, we won't be having that. We're not sticking around and letting you just torment people like this. We're not gonna let you keep this up anymore, Monokuma. We're going to end this killing game. There won't be any more deaths. For such a death like that, there won't be any more. We declare it. We're going to stop you and the mastermind. Boo-hoo-hoo, how brave. I'd love to see you all try. You'll never win. The more deaths, the closer we get to victory. You'll never survive. You can't stop us. We will. And that is a promise. And I'd love to see you try when the time comes. Can we really stop him? That death was too much. He rigged it. We're not letting this go anymore. The 8 of us will do something about it. We're not gonna let you torment us anymore, Monokuma. We will see about that. Can we really beat Monokuma? He's gonna give us a new motive soon. He's gonna ruin all of us. But we can't keep these murders up. Diddy Kong was just... He didn't deserve that. We're ending this killing game soon enough. If anything, it's ending the next time. We're not gonna let it stand any longer. It has to end.